The Universe Survival Arc has introduced us to the Pride Troopers, and we don't know all the members quite yet, but we know Jiren and Toppo are extremely powerful. When Toppo was first introduced to us, we were told, based on the information on the Toei website, that Toppo is actually the god of destruction, was a candidate to become a god of destruction, and he seems to be like, I guess, a quasi bodyguard for the gods of Universe 11. And then there's Jiren, who's even more powerful than Toppo. Now, the question I'm posing in this video is, why didn't the Pride Troopers stop Goku Black and Zamasu during their rampage? If you go back to the Trunks arc, we see that Goku Black reveals that he went from civilization to civilization, destroying and running amok, and we know that Goku Black and Zamasu, mainly Goku Black, killed all of the Supreme Kais in all 12 universes of Trunks' timeline, and thus, as a result of that, killed the gods of destruction, and the angels were rendered helpless, and as a result of all of that, was able to kind of not be stopped. But the question is, why didn't the Pride Troopers, who we would think would be there at least close to the Supreme Kai of Universe 11, why wouldn't they do something about this? And I have a couple of ideas to what I think may have happened here, but let's talk about it. So, joining me to discuss this, he's giggling already. Please welcome Mark from Real to Real Pro. A random question here again, but we're going to talk about it.
What's up? I'm sorry. What's up, Big Daddy D? What's up, everybody?
You were better off with I'm sorry, bro. You were better off with I'm sorry, bro.
What's up, everybody? Always good to be here. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about this, okay? Let's really line it up now, okay? Future Trunks timeline is a mirror of all the timelines, and there's nothing in Trunks' timeline that would tell us that the Pride Troopers don't exist. We know that there are still, in Trunks' timeline, 12 gods of destruction, 12 angels, Supreme Kai's running everywhere, another Omni King. So that would mean that there is a parallel universe equivalent of Jiren and Toppo. Why were specifically Toppo, who seems to always be hanging around the gods? Why did he not stop Goku Black? Because if Toppo is so powerful, he could have done it. I mean, he could have maybe not killed him, or maybe he could have killed him prior to the, I don't know, because Goku Black was immortal. So no, Zamasu was immortal. So Goku Black could have been stopped then.
And he couldn't compete with Super Saiyan Trunks at least for a year. I mean, he could, but Trunks was still fighting.
He was unable to kill him.
Yeah, he was still fighting on par, at least enough that if he wasn't playing around, they would still have a legitimate fight, but ultimately Black would have won in that situation. So, yeah, Jiren and Toppo could have destroyed Black, easily.
That's right. And the thing is, obviously, the real answer to this is that when they were writing Super, Toriyama, Toei, they didn't even think of this. They didn't even think of, when they were writing the Toppo character, like what could have happened. But there are some theories out there. The one that I think seems to be the one that makes the most sense is that possibly Goku Black knew of the Pride Troopers and their close association with the Supreme Kais, and maybe he waited for them to be out on a mission before he would go in there and take out the Supreme Kai. Because we know that Goku Black can't really beat a God of Destruction in a one-on-one fight. It's just probably not going to happen. We haven't seen all the gods yet, but we can presume that safely. So he went after the Supreme Kais, who aren't that strong. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Toppo may have been out taking a dump or something, and then this guy just came in and killed him, and then what?
Yeah, and I actually think that probably makes the most sense. I mean, considering the fact that, like you said, Trunks' timeline is just basically a mirror of everything that we've seen before. So theoretically, outside of the Universe 7, everything else should remain relatively constant. I mean, in that timeline, Champa should be still looking for the Super Dragon Balls. At least maybe he even have found them by that point. But just in general, here's my theory.
Well, I mean, I will say this also. I did outline this real quick on a video I did called The Super Saiyan God Plot Hole, where we talked about how the Oracle Fish making the prophecy so many years ago would not make sense. And I covered that extensively on that video. We're not going to talk about it here, but the gist of it was the prophecy doesn't make sense because the original timeline was Trunks' future. So Beerus should have woken up in Trunks' future. it seems like he either wasn't awake or he just woke up and went back to sleep. You know what I mean? The prophecy or the fish was wrong. The fish was wrong and there is no Super Saiyan God. So there's already tons of logic holes here, but continue with your point.
Okay, so this is my thing, and I swear to God I came up with this while you were talking about, like, yeah, what are other theories that we can see outside of just the logical Toei and Toriyama, and everyone didn't actually think of these characters while they were writing that arc. Here's why. What if the Pride Troopers, and they could easily write this in a retcon or whatever, what if the Pride Troopers didn't exist until really recently? Because we know there's been a time skip from the Future Trunks arc to this particular arc. When the arc starts, Goku comes in, he's like, look, I'm a bit rusty, I haven't been fighting in a while. Obviously, there's been like a couple months there because Bulma gets completely pregnant and has Bra because of...
Well, remember, during the Goku versus Hit filler episode, or in between episode, he says that he hasn't fought Hit in a year.
Yeah.
So that's a year.
So there's a year. But here's the thing. Zamasu, Black, and everyone else caused a huge situation in other universes and other timelines. I mean, to the extent that Trunks came back in time and should have potentially made another time ring, informing all the other gods that something was amuck, and like all the other like time, like there's something wrong with the timeline. There's not just something they can sweep under the rug. And given the fact that now there are two Zenos, this is probably something that's gotten around and become really gossip-filling. Like, oh my God, like what's going on? What is going on here? Why are there two Zenos?
Why are there two Zenos?
Yeah.
And nobody has even addressed that. Like, where did this come from?
But maybe, you know, we've seen the gods talking and we've seen them kind of sitting around talking. Maybe they have their own like little cliques and stuff and they have their own rumor pool. What if it got out that, yeah, in another timeline, because of all this stuff that happened, this Zamasu guy from Universe 10 went into another timeline and literally killed us all. And what if the people in Universe 11, the Kais and the Gods of Destruction, are like, yeah, that's not happening. We're going to get you like a bodyguard. We're going to get you some people for hire.
So you're telling me that the Pride Troopers were created as a result of the Goku Black alternate timeline. There's a butterfly effect for you.
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool though? Because like, look, we have like basically... It wouldn't be hard for them to basically say that's exactly... And whether or not they were created as a result, as long as they knew they existed, it's like, hey, you know, like, we're going to this thing, we just want you to guys, like, we want your leader or something just to look after this guy, because if he dies, you know, it kills me and nullifies the angel and everything, it puts the entire universe in chaos. We can't have that happen, and it's happened before, at least according to all these rumors that are going around for the last year or so. That's just my little theory. Like, that would be really cool, actually, kind of seeing some progression in other universes and stories and characters building from events that we saw that had nothing to do with them.
I mean, the only thing that would kind of hurt that theory is that when we see the Pride Troopers, there's definitely knowledge that they've worked, or it's implied heavily that they've been together for quite some time. Maybe it has been like 10 months. I mean, I would buy that. Anything less than like 9 months, I'm not going to buy it, because they have so much camaraderie and so much prowess as a teamwork, you know, with their teamwork. I can't buy that. But if it's been like 10 months, I could totally see that. Because Toppo knows how strong Jiren is. Like, he put him over, like, okay, this guy's even stronger than I am, and I was a candidate to be a GOD. You know what I mean? But not GED, GOD. Don't get it twisted.
But even in that sense, like I'm saying, I'm not saying that they haven't been necessarily together for as long as they have been, but they just haven't been watching over the Kais or any of that stuff. They haven't been necessarily their personal bodyguards up until this point. It's just an extra precaution going into basically what happened in the previous arc in other universes. And even if that's too much to swallow, and yes, they did put everyone together, it's not like they probably wouldn't know each other and everything else. Because let's be fair, like, if Toppo and Jiren are this strong, and we know we've seen this in Universe 6 and the Universe 7 arc, the Champa arc tournament, it begged the question, you know, if the Saiyans are this strong, or if Frieza's going into, or Frost's character is going into his third form to fight in fights alongside Kaba and all the other Saiyans who have all this potential, how strong is everyone else in Universe 6 that they have to do all this stuff to go into wars? It begs the question, if the Pride Troopers weren't already together, or were they already together and not a result of everything that happened in the Black arc? What is so strong that these people have to get together in this particular universe to gang together and fight for truth and justice. Like, what's knocking on their door, and why aren't we watching it?
You're telling me, well, maybe we will one day. You're telling me that you think that the Universe 11 enemies or villains are basically would chew up Frieza and Cell for breakfast. What you're telling me right now, that these dudes are for all these super strong guys to make a team, the Universe 11 villains have to be like beyond anything. Is what you're trying to tell me right now.
Well, maybe not. It's just it begs the question, doesn't it? And I think that's actually the point of this kind of conversation, just these fun little talks. But regardless, if they have been together for years and years and years and they have this camaraderie, whether they easily enforce or anything else, obviously there's a reason for all these people to get together, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things where, exactly, there's that. And obviously if they're together, one of them, maybe not every single guy, but at least Jiren and Toppo, they could easily take out Goku Black. So the only logical answer is, like you said, they don't exist in that universe because they were created as a result of Goku Black, or when Goku Black attacked the Kais, they were just off doing a mission and busy. Let us know in the comments your theories. Why do you think, I want you guys to get creative now, why do you think the Pride Troopers did not stop Goku Black? Why didn't they get involved? Do you think maybe they just weren't aware? I mean, you also have other universes that have higher mortal ratings. They also got taken out by Goku Black in the Trunks timeline. So, I mean, another question is, why the hell didn't the Daishinkan get involved? Like, you know, you would think that he would be able to sense if his children are in danger. None of this makes any sense, but if you can make sense of it, feel free. And make sure to check out Real to Real.